All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Monday night YouTube live. Wow, JMIA for real? Ooh, beautiful. So, goals for tonight are, first of all, welcome back. I'm lead trainer with StocksToTrade, Tim Bohen. Goals are many. We start with breaking down the watch list from last week. We break down what we're looking at going into this week. I usually give you a lot of announcements, kind of stuff that's going on. And then we'll wrap up with a little bit of Q&A. So welcome back, everyone. I really appreciate you for being here. These are fun. I really enjoy doing these. I look forward to it. As you can tell, this is not like some tribute to Game of Thrones. We had a couple warm days here in Michigan, but winter is back. It didn't snow this weekend, but it almost snowed. So forgive the hood. It is cold, rainy, and much like Winterfell, winter never seems to leave Michigan. So anyway, let's get to work. And let me get my notes. Let me get my Evernote up and get ready for, okay, there's last week's. Let me drop into the screen share. And as always, let's get to work. Screen share. There it is. Entire screen. And we enter the matrix. Okay, so going back to last week. Man, Pinterest. Beautiful. These IPOs. Lyft. Obviously, Lyft was a disappointment, though Lyft is getting to the point where it's trying to bounce a little bit. But anyway, other than Lyft, IPOs have been very strong. I mean, Pinterest, Zoom, Tiger. We talked about Tiger nonstop. There was a new one. What was the new one today? S-Wave, SWAV. Was another one. And then we've got upcoming Uber upcoming. We've got WeWork upcoming. And we've also got Beyond Meat. Many of you know me. You may know how I would most likely feel about Beyond Meat, but we'll save that for another time. Beyond Meat is I would never recommend shorting an IPO, no matter how ridiculous the idea. But I'm telling you what, if you forced me to short an IPO, it would be the fake meat laboratory meat maker Beyond Meat. That aside, Pinterest has been beautiful. I mean, Pinterest has been green every single day post IPO. There's 0 red days on Pinterest. And you go back to last week, I mean, talk about booyah. This thing closed at 34.70 today. A week ago when we did the watch list, I mean, in the 20s. Now, I will say this. Notice that the wick on the candle, that I think that's a bad after hours print. But look at that candle today. If you are in Pinterest from last week, from this morning, I mean, the watch list goes out Sunday afternoon. You could have bought Pinterest this morning when it failed to go red on the day, and you're up, $4 a share in one day. Do not forget the rule of 10. Rule of 10. The idea behind the rule of 10 is it drives me nuts that new traders and or small traders think they have to trade 10-cent stocks, 30-cent stocks, $1 stocks. When you got a chart like Pinterest, you don't have to trade 10 cents, 30-cent stocks, okay? You can trade $34 stocks. Now, if you got a small account and you got 100 shares of Pinterest and it's up $5 on the share and it's pushing the high of the day into the, in after hours, closed, after hours on NASDAQ stocks closes at 8 p.m. 7 minutes ago. This thing literally pegged, well, not literally. Oh, sorry. It closed 19 cents off of the high. If you're in last week, you're up $8-9 a share. Would you like to have 100 shares of Pinterest? 50 shares. Think about 50 shares. If you've got a small account and you got 50 shares and you're up $5, $7, $8, $9. Now, that being said, I would urge caution after this parabolic or exponential candle. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I mean, look at today's candle relative to every other day. Biggest candle since the IPO, or well, I'm sorry, biggest daily candle ever. So my point is, before I move on, if you took it last week, congrats. If you took it today, congrats. But I would be very cautious after that, whether you call it a blow off top, whatever you want to call it, that's a big move today. So urging caution at this point. Let it consolidate, maybe re-break out. Next is, and if you guys notice on screen, these are the notes just from this morning in StocksToTrade Pro. So you can go to StocksToTrade.com/pro every day, twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I go live and do exactly what we're doing here. Today, this is my 4th time live today. I went live at 8 a.m. this morning. We started out with a strategy session where we're breaking down a candlestick chart book by Steve Neeson. So we talk about psychology. We talk about the idea behind the trade. We get into the nitty gritty in the strategy sessions. 8 a.m. today. I was in chat at 7 a.m. Actually, 6:45, I was in chat in StocksToTrade Pro. Live at 8 a.m., live at 9 a.m., live at 3:30. 3 webinars today where we talk about all these stocks, entries, exits, the thesis behind the trade, chart patterns, technical indicators, break down news, break down SEC filings, all of this. I mean, this is just this morning. All of these notes are in the webinar. So even if you're not there, that's the beauty of what I do is all of this stuff is written down. It's all annotated. You want to catch up on the day, you can just read the notes or you can watch the webinar. All of the webinars are available as soon as I end, as soon as I'm done. I upload them. You can watch them anytime. So let's move on. The rest of last week's list. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, ladies. I'll be. Remember, I'm a Midwesterner, so I say guys and man a lot. But the rest of last week's list, okay. A lot of them kind of failed to get any real volume. AMRS trended up earlier in the week, never really did what I wanted it to do. Riot was working. And remember, we're going back to last week. So this is the watch list from a week ago yesterday. Riot was looking great. Beautiful breakout. But then middle of the week last week, Bitcoin had that news. I don't even remember the headline, but Tether, somebody got hacked again in crypto. Seems to happen all the time. Riot was looking beautiful last week until that hack with Bitfinex or I don't remember the headline, kind of brought Riot to a screeching halt. That's the annoying thing about crypto stocks is, I don't know. I want to believe, and hopefully this doesn't sound offensive, but, and this could be husbands, boyfriends, whatever, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives. But man, these cryptos are like the cheating boyfriend, girlfriend. It's like, and again, I'm not trying to be offensive. This is a metaphor, but it's like you've got that boyfriend or that girlfriend that just keeps cheating on you, and you keep believing them when they're like, "I'll never do it again. I'm sorry. It was a mistake." And you're like, "Okay." And then they do it again. So anyway, crypto stocks a little annoying. TPNL, okay. UXIN, never squeezed like we thought it could. Did have a good week into the early part of the week, but hey, I'll be the first to say that anybody, okay, if you're watching YouTube videos, if you're in a chat room, if you're on Twitter, anybody tells you they're perfect and every idea works, run away as fast as you can. Last week's list, Pinterest was amazing. The other four, not great, not amazing. Now, most of them, there was never really an entry. They kind of never really went anywhere. So it's not like so think about that. All of these ideas from last week, they just didn't do anything. So it's like there was no entries. There was no breakouts on it, most of them. So no harm, no foul. If you're not in it because it never hit a buy signal, you just don't trade them. I mean, remember, you're looking for the entries and exits laid out in the watch list, the plan. You make your own plan, you make your own trades, but the other four, what do? Not great. Going fast forward to this week. Woohoo! This week's looking nice, man. All-time highs in the market. So Pinterest, I won't revisit Pinterest. Just as I say, I won't revisit it. I revisit it. Congrats to anybody that traded it today. I'd be very cautious going forward after that crazy candle. Hexo, weed stock, very nice day today. Trended all the way up through the day. Closed near the high of the day. Little bit shaky after hours, but remember these swing trades. I would never say you ignore after hours trading, but it can be a little noisy. So, HEXO gapped up this morning, pulled back a little bit, held VWAP, ground higher, closed within 12 cents of the high of the day. Definitely looking good as we go through the week. ENPH, these energy plays didn't really do anything. I still like the idea. Again, end phase, no buy signal yet. Volume was mediocre today, failed to break out today. Keep this on watch. So don't forget end phase, but needs volume. Look at this volume today. And you can't predict volume, especially if you're doing a watch list on the weekend. You hope there's some news on Monday morning. You hope there's something going on. But when the volume, look at the volume. This is your tell. Let me jump to a 5-day, 5-minute, and you'll see what I mean. Look at that. Opened. Just nothing going on. So I still believe in the idea. Keep it on watch. And then AXSM trending up. The high on it. Did hit 52-week high, or nope, approaching 52-week highs. So I would keep, again, AXSM on your watch. Look for that new 52-week high. Look for a new high on the markets. We're not far from a new high on the SPY. We touched it today, pulled back a little bit, but if you were watching the markets, Google announced less than stellar numbers. And, Google's one of those 800-pound gorillas. Normally, we don't necessarily look to trade a stock like Google that high priced. I know I talked about the rule of 10, but you get up to the price of Google. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of impossible to trade Google, even using the rule of 10. I'm still very bullish. I still think we get there, but tomorrow could be a less than dramatic day. Google was kind of a wet blanket here in after hours with mediocre earnings. So I would set an alert on AXSM. And then HPJ, this was an interesting one. This thing trended all through the day. I mean, gradually grinding, but brutal. I mean, like brutal volume. 100,000 shares traded. I don't really get why the volume never came in this thing. I mean, it's at 52-week highs. It's a breakout, and it's a nice candle today. 8% move. What was the high? 380. So it was up roughly 10% on the day, but nobody cared. I mean, nobody showed up in HPJ. So the lesson there is avoid illiquid stocks, only trade stocks with volume, and keep HPJ on your wall. It's weird that like the algos, it's just odd that this stock never got picked up today and never got volume, but it happens. Nice move. I mean, if you bought that red to green move this morning, you're up 35 cents a share, and it closed near the high of the day. But I'm talking hypotheticals, avoid stocks that trade 100,000 shares a day. It's a pain. So, all right, guys and gals, IPOs are hot. Be careful trading them. But when you get a chart like Pinterest or JMIA, Wednesday afternoon in STT Pro, which would have been, let me go to a 5-day chart. Wednesday afternoon would have been 424. Kind of had that new high on the intraday. We talked about this as a potential swing trade at that new high. Had a shaky Thursday, but then Friday gapped up this morning, closed at the high of the day. I mean, you might have gotten stopped out on Thursday. Okay, I'm not saying you would have held through that move, but geez, if you had a small size and a little bit wider stop, I mean, you got to give these. That's the thing with these $40 stocks. Okay, now I would never say increase your stop, but if you're trading something that's $40 with a 10-cent stop, you're going to struggle. You got to give these stocks a little bit of room. JMIA was beautiful Wednesday afternoon, which would have been the 24th market close. JMIA, the Amazon of Africa. Recent IPO, discussed the long. I love the risk to reward on this one. And it's still pushing in after hours. I mean, look at JMIA. I mean, even if you bought it this afternoon, you're up $3 a share. So, all right, everyone, let's get to. So, give me some Q&A. Exciting times. Oh, new Steady Trade podcast, by the way. Go to SteadyTrade.com. Go to Steady Trade on iTunes. I'm really proud of what we're doing with Steady Trade right now. We've been we did 2 episodes today. I'm proud of it. Oh, okay. Announcements. Remember, drop your questions in, but let me get you some announcements too. StocksToTrade.com /webinar dash replay. Okay. Can I zoom? Will it work if I zoom? Sometimes these streaming softwares like it, sometimes they don't. Let me see if that works. No, it doesn't work. Wait. Oh, it does. Okay, cool. So there it is. StocksToTrade.com /webinar replay. Last week, I did a webinar specifically focused on VWAP, what it is, how to trade it, etc. So it's free. Check that out. Webinar dash replay. The other one, go to the StocksToTrade.com /blog. Just posted a new blog. I hate that picture. What am I looking at? I'm looking at something over my right shoulder, but I don't know what it is. But anyway, go to StocksToTrade.com /blog and check out the latest kind of weekly update. I think right now the next webinar is May 8th. Keep an eye out for that. And I think I am done with announcements. All right, Q&A. Do you ever trade OTCs? Chris Lee asks. So, Chris, good question. The answer is I don't trade OTCs often. Now, I did a podcast. It hasn't come out yet, but I did a podcast with Jackaroo, Prophet Lee /Jackaroo. Guy it's cool, young guy, man. When I talk about how proud I am of the podcast, keep an eye out for it. I think it might be next Monday or the week after. We've been banging out episodes, but this kid, man, I mean, I say kid, I'm practically 50. I'm a dinosaur, you know. This isn't gray. It's actually fossilization. That's how old I am. My beard has fossilized. But this kid, man, his mindset is on point. And he trades a lot of these OTC gappers. And I got fired up. I got inspired. I'm looking to possibly look at being more aggressive in the OTC gapper type setup. I know we did a new podcast with Papa John. I don't think that one's out yet either. Papa John crushing it in these OTC plays. So, Chris, I know it took a while to get there. The long-winded answer is not often. But man, I keep talking to a lot of these guys crushing it. I want to start delving back into the OTCs more. They've been dead, but it kind of feels like they're coming back. You should be proud of Steady Trade. It's excellent. Thank you. IGC. You guys want me to talk about IGC? Let's jump back to the screen share. Share. Let's check out IGC. So remember, IGC is, before I even bring up the chart, IGC is one of my favorite stocks. You know, they used to rent heavy equipment. They used to rent like bulldozers. They're located in a house, or they were located in a house that looks like a daycare, and they pivoted to cryptocurrencies. The stock has ran. So let's take a look at IGC. Man, I don't know. John. Again, the stock has a history of running. So, John, help me out. Why? And John, we're here to discuss ideas. We're here to learn, improve, and get better. But why would I care about IGC? And John, and this goes for everybody. Listen, I love talking trading. I love breaking down ideas. But, it ran on Friday. It went nowhere today. on mediocre volume. It closed red on the day. And ever since 11 a.m., it had 2 cents of range. Now, I get it. Had a good move on Friday, but zero continuation today. So what I see is fading volume. Stock closed red on the day. I mean, literally nobody cared about this stock after 10:30 a.m. 1 cent of range, 2 cents of range. Now, if you're green, so there's 2 ways to approach this. If you're green on this, so let's say you bought at 1:30 on Friday and you're green, I wouldn't be panicking. But if you're upside down in IGC, if you're bag holding, now I know it's only down 3.6%. I mean, it's not like this thing got destroyed today, but it just really feels like nobody cares about IGC anymore. So I would be very cautious with IGC. If I was green, I would maybe give it some time. If I was red, kick this thing to the curb. I mean, it looks dead to me. You know, I'm sorry, John, but PRPO was a disaster today. You know, I had way higher hopes for PRPO. Keep this on your radar. We've seen these low float, or I'm sorry, we've seen these reverse splitters move. But I tell you, I had such higher hopes for PRPO because they had the reverse split. They put out the press release. Market was up big this morning. It's Money Monday. You know, everybody's going to be fired up. And then PRPO just straight fade. I mean, the press release came out at, 8:35. Stock spiked for 15 minutes and then straight fade. So PRPO, I thought the combination of the reverse split and the PR the same day, in STT Pro, we might have some members in the YouTube live. I was like, yeah, baby, market strong. They do the reverse split on a Monday morning. They jam out the press release. The volume was decent in pre-market, and then just straight fade. Nothing ever happened. So, yeah. So Matt says IGC was a good buy. So Matt, if you're in at 125 on IGC, hey, I'm no hater. If you're in at 125, nice. How do you identify which stocks have significant news before the open that will impact the trading day? Great question, Matt. But here's the thing. And Matt, this is an answer that's kind of, I think people are always like, wait a minute. You read the news, you look for concrete type stuff, you look for stuff that has made stocks run in the past, but you can't predict. But the point is, don't try and predict. Let the volume, let the price action confirm. And here's the thing, and I went back to the webcam on purpose. So if you got a stock that spiked, PRPO, okay? Let's use PRPO as an example. Up huge on news, market strong. I urge you a lot of caution to trade these things in pre-market. Please avoid trading them in pre-market. But here's the thing. If PRPO dipped at the open, volume came in, and it's ripping, into that 9:45 window, into that 2 p.m. window, into that late day move, midday moves, I will never say the news doesn't matter, but let that volume, let that price action confirm your idea. And I mean, PRPO's news is whatever, but it's a reverse split and it's low flow. So read the news, analyze it, write your opinion, keep your notes, but let the price action tell you what cares. Because remember, the market is based on animal spirits. The reason stocks go up 100, 200, 300, 1,000% on a day. I mean, I also like to say there's no absolutes in trading, but I mean, very, very seldom should any stock be up 500 or 1,000% in one day. That's emotion, that's mania, etc. So don't be so laser focused on what the news is or isn't. Let the price action confirm. So Robinhood, remember, PRPO was not up 2,000% today. It's a reverse split. Google reverse split. So Robinhood beginner, don't feel bad. Okay. Remember, Investopedia has a great article, and I'll finish on this. And hey, I've thrown stuff. I've smashed mice. I've smashed keyboards. I don't know if I've ever smashed a monitor. I've punched a monitor before, but it didn't break. And don't get me wrong, not like saying I'm some hard hitter, but I kind of went to hit it. I kind of pulled the punch and the monitor survived. But before you start throwing stuff, Robinhood, Google reverse split. PRPO was not up 15%. It was a 15-to-1 reverse split. So, all right, my friends. Thank you again. Now, I know I missed a million questions. There's probably, well, maybe not a million. Maybe there's 999,000 questions I missed. Remember, I'm here every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. I never miss. I'm never late. Okay. So if I missed your questions, I'm sorry. Bring them next week. If you want a question answered immediately, live 3 times a day, check out StocksToTrade Pro, StocksToTrade.com/pro. Have a great night, everyone. Amazing times. I know I say this a lot, but man, market at all-time highs. Google, I think we'll, Google kind of threw the wet blanket on today, but I think we'll shake off that news and be back. So, StocksToTrade.com/watchlist. That's where the stocks came from every Sunday in your inbox for free. Steady Trade Podcast, free. Have a great night, everyone. I wish you all the best. We live in the greatest time in history. And I will see you in Stocks to Trade Pro tomorrow morning, or I'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, sharp. Have a great night, everyone.